Recent years have been, shall we say, interesting, considering automotive design and the rapidly growing EV market. Times are changing, and it seems that literally every manufacturer is trying hard to get a piece of the electric pie. Hyundai is no exception, but this time they are taking it very seriously in both design and performance-wise. Meet the Ioniq 5, which, in my very humble opinion, is the coolest new obtainable vehicle in the last, let's say, 5 years. And in this review, I'm going to elaborate why is that so. There's a total of 5 reasons why I personally find the Ioniq 5 to be so outrageously cool compared most of the vehicles released in 2021. But first things first, I need to give credit where it's due. Massive thanks to Auto-Bon AC, which is my local Hyundai dealer, located near the border of Tallinn. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. So what makes the Ioniq 5 the coolest? First off, no surprise there. Obviously the design. Maybe I'm hypnotized by those 256 cubic pixels that form the LED headlights, but it really is so bold, so out of the box. It's like DMC DeLorean meets Lancia Delta, and then the combination of two has been remastered and resto-modded for the present day. The idea of Ioniq 5 is heavily based on the Hyundai's 45 EV concept car, which was unveiled at the Frankfurt Motor Show in September of 2019, and it also contains some of the secret sauce. In fact, the concept was inspired by Hyundai Pony Coupe, which was another concept from the 70s. That means the Ioniq 5 is linked to a concept which is linked to another concept. And now I really see it. The Pony Coupe concept is very similar to the DMC DeLorean, which I mentioned earlier. I was trying to be funny, but this is turning out to be rather serious. First prototype of the DeLorean was released in 1976. Pony Coupe concept was announced in 1974. Interesting. And both Pony Coupe and the DMC DeLorean were designed by the same guy, the legendary Giuseppe Giugiaro. This is huge. The legendary DMC DeLorean was inspired by Hyundai. The Ioniq 5 just got cooler. Findings like these are the reason why I love making this kind of content for YouTube. To be clear, some brochures claim that the Ioniq 5 got its inspiration from a regular pony, not the coupe concept, which is understandable because I'm pretty sure that the Hyundai's concept from the 70s isn't that well known. Reason number 2 why the Ioniq 5 is the coolest. Its design again, and its purpose compared to the competitors and other EVs that possible customers would cross-shop. You can definitely compare the Ioniq 5 to the Volkswagen ID.4, the Ford Mustang Mach-E and the Tesla Model Y, or why not even a Model 3 if you squint a little. Okay, you need to squint a lot. But the 3 is included in the list because of its overall great value for money. Plus, I almost forgot about the Volvo's EV, the Polestar 2. Oh, and the ID.4 share its platform with Skoda Enyaq iV and the Audi Q4 e-tron. So all of these EVs are more or less in the same price range, have similar battery capacities, and most importantly, they can cover a similar range. It's getting really crowded in that segment. According to the numbers, overall for more money you get better range and acceleration figures. The Ioniq 5 seems to be rather average. That said, it has the best warranty conditions. 5 years with unlimited mileage, unlike any other vehicle on this list. And the standard equipment is also decent. More on that later. But yes, I'm supposed to discuss the subjective stuff here. So, the design. Hyundai is in totally another league in that department. Competition is trying to be futuristic, but in reality they look like concept cars from the mid-2000s. They are all at least good looking, to be fair, but they are bland and regular looking compared to the Ioniq 5, and definitely not timeless. I'm pretty confident that this Hyundai here is a timeless piece of design. And then there's this very trendy pseudo SUV thing. In reality, they are all slightly lifted hatchbacks with optional massive rims with low profile tires. Fortunately, they all can be optioned with 4-wheel drive, which makes them slightly SUV-ish indeed. But Hyundai here with the Ioniq 5 approaches the SUV thing differently. They are totally avoiding the pretentious route. When I first saw the images about the Ioniq 5, I was confused. Why the hell are they calling it SUV? It's not even close. Then I googled the dimensions and realized it's bigger in real life. They took the idea of Lancia Delta and then scaled it up a bit. And here we go. I'm not into SUVs that much, because they are killing the sedans and wagons one by one. But scaling up the hatchback design, this is totally cool, and I really love that kind of approach. Mostly because, in that way, it won't look pretentious and or desperate. Next reason why I think the Ioniq 5 is the coolest. The underdog factor. I suppose we all remember the days when Korean cars in general were considered something to be ashamed of. They were mostly simple cars for rather good value, but they weren't aspiring. But in the mid-2000s, they slowly and surely started to reach new heights with the longer warranty deals, better design, and stepping up the technology department also. In the last 5 years or so, they have improved even further. Look at the Kia Stinger, for example. I really love that thing, and I would definitely pick one over the German rivals. That said, unfortunately, despite the improvements in every aspect, car enthusiasts who choose a Korean car still have to explain themselves why they decided to choose that route. Some won't even consider taking the Koreans seriously, but we'll see. Maybe it's the generation thing. I'm confident that in the future the questionable past of the Korean cars has been forgotten. The fifth and final reason why the Ioniq 5 is the coolest is the fact that it's actually really good as an EV and a car in general. It's not only the looks in that case, and most importantly, I'm not into EVs at all. They are great in many factors, but I think they are generally soulless, mainly because of the absence of exhaust and engine sound, obviously. They are just appliances. But yes, I know, they are the future and there's nothing that we can do about it. I'm glad that today's main subject, the Ioniq 5, can change my opinion towards the EVs. I wouldn't even dare to call it an appliance, and it has plenty of soul. So finally, we can move on to more objective aspects. Depending on the market, there's a total of 4 different models available: battery capacity and drive-wise. In some markets, like Nordics or the Baltics for example, the 58 kWh version isn't available at all, probably because of the colder winters. Except for Denmark, where you can easily get the 58 kWh version. Otherwise, both the so-called standard and long-range versions are available as rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive configuration. In all-wheel drive form, there is an extra motor mounted on the front axle. So, if you appreciate more performance, the 4-wheel drive versions are significantly quicker, but you will lose some range. Luckily, not that much. The equipment levels and naming of them is also market dependent. In some markets, like Germany, there are no trims at all. Instead, there are packages only. And in some other markets, there's both trims and packages available. Either way, a base level Ioniq 5 is nothing to be ashamed of. As standard, the highlights include 12.3-inch infotainment system with navigation, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay included. The instrument cluster comes in the same size, and a bunch of safety systems like forward collision avoidance, highway driving assist, intelligent speed limit assist, lane keep assist, mood lighting, and full range adaptive cruise control are included. Exterior-wise, the rear tinted windows, 19-inch alloy wheels, and flash door handles come also as standard. This example here is a so-called Nordic/Scandinavian/Baltic spec base model, which is called Style, and that means it comes with a 73 kWh battery only, as mentioned earlier, and this base is even better than the 58 kWh example. It comes with an electric tailgate, heated steering wheel, blind spot monitoring, electric front seats, and some other not that significant goodies. And it has only 2 options marked: metallic paint and the first edition package, which costs about 4,000 euros. That package includes dual LED low and high projection headlights, a head-up display with AR function, Bose premium sound system, and a bunch of styling refinements, like some interior decorations, to name a few. So it's very well equipped, but I really missed one feature. Yes, this one has blind spot monitoring, but unfortunately it doesn't have the famous blind spot camera known from other Hyundai or Kia models. That means there are 2 separate blind spot monitoring systems to choose from, the regular and the one with the cameras. I got so used to it while driving the new Tucson a couple of weeks ago. It's honestly one of the coolest features of all time. What about some other possible options you can pick while configuring your Ioniq 5? Let's glance at some of the highlights. Heated rear seats, ventilated front seats memory package, electric rear seats, surround view camera system, 20-inch alloy wheels, and already mentioned blind spot camera and head-up display. I suppose now it would be appropriate to go over the regular EV stuff, range and charging. To be clear, this is my very first long-time EV experience. As an EV rookie, I was very anxious about the range. But after approximately half an hour behind the steering wheel, the anxiety was gone. This isn't that bad at all, and I wasn't holding myself back initially. Battery percentage dropped at a very calm pace. On the second day, I hit the highway in the morning rush hour, and as in classical EV fashion, the battery percentage dropped noticeably faster, but still not fast enough to cause any range anxiety. Charging the thing was an okay experience, and they have made it cool with an electric charging port lead and the square pixel theme charge indicator. The navigation system displayed some non-existing charging stations, but I guess I can forgive that software-related oversight. Overall, the range is totally acceptable. According to the EV database, the real range estimates are between 275 to 565 kilometers, depending of the scenario. For comparison, the widely praised Tesla Model Y achieves 295 to 595 kilometers in one charge. If you're interested in 4-wheel drive or any other version of the Ioniq 5, check out evdatabase.org. I will add the link in the description below. To the driving part. Yes, it gets a move on, which is no biggie for an EV, but it feels way quicker than those approximately 7 seconds 0 to 100 km an hour suggests. And it's quiet. You will hear some wind on the highway, but overall it's reasonably insulated. What I found strange are those so-called maneuvering sounds at the very slow speeds. It's so strange to hear the front wheels changing their direction, and you kinda feel it through the steering wheel also. Maybe it's a regular side effect on all EVs. I really can't tell. The handling is sublime. Minimal body roll which only appears while you really push it. This is how the electric steering rack should be executed. It's not too heavy or not too light, and there's just right amount of feedback. What about those paddle shifters? Wait, what for? Are they dummies? No, they exist to give you a control over the regenerative braking. So, like plenty of other EVs, you can drive this car using only one pedal in normal conditions, if you so wish. I found that feature very useful in city traffic. On the highway, I switched it over to the regular mode, which pretty much disabled the regenerative braking. Next up, let's discuss the materials used in the interior. I have to say, most of the manufacturers are stepping up their interior quality game big time. Ioniq 5 is no exception. Interior materials in here are very high quality, and there are plenty of little clever details all around. Plus, they have used plenty of recycled materials like the recycled PET bottles, natural wool yarns, and an ecologically processed leather. If you are looking for areas they might have cut some costs, you're going to have a bad time. I found only one cost-cutting measure, and it wasn't material related. There's no grab handle for the driver. Sorry for nitpicking, but otherwise there's absolutely nothing to complain about regarding the materials. This is a luxury car level here. What about the practicality? Well, it's a mixed bag on that front. A lot of EVs are loved for their trunks or front luggage compartments, however you wanna call them. But this one, the trunk is really tiny. You can pretty much only fit the charging supplies there. That's about it. The rear boot space isn't that large neither compared to the regular SUVs. It's not that deep. But on the other hand, the passenger area has great practical features. It's roomy and airy. And I was very impressed by the glove box design. It's brilliant and super convenient. It's so weird that no one hasn't approached the glove box compartment situation with this kind of system before. There are plenty of room in the back seats in every direction, and it feels quite cozy despite the ultra clean design language. So, this is it. Overall, I'm very impressed by the Ioniq 5. It got my curiosity with the design, and in the end, it didn't turn out to be a two-trick pony. It's an all-around, high-quality product. And by the way, there's more coming. It's built on the shareable platform, which means that soon there will be Kia's version of the Ioniq 5 called the EV6, and in some very lucky markets there's also a Genesis version coming called the GV60. Thanks for watching.